Alright, so I wanted to talk about another one of the problems from last week's worksheet that we probably didn't get a chance to work on because we did so much work with resonance and the S-base stuff. This one asks you to draw the skeletal structure of the compound I have drawn here. I think the best way to start these problems is to find the longest and simplest chain of carbons and then number them from there to figure out what's going on with this thing. So the one that jumps out on me is this 5-chain carbon ring right here, or line right here. So I would just start from left to right. Call this carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, because I can count. You could also pick this longest chain, I guess, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it's more complicated to deal with, so I wouldn't do it. That's the one you would probably pick to name the thing, right? Because you'd end up with more substituents to name, I think. Actually, I think it's the same either way. But anyway, just pick the simplest one. Don't try to confuse yourself. And then I would just start off by drawing that. So here are your 5 carbons. And M is always 5. Might be a cool thing to remember. That might help you. And I would number them again to show yourself and maybe even the teacher. Make it a little easier to grade for the teacher. So we go through and we're just going to try to replicate what we have shown in the original. So we see on carbon 1 there's nothing really to add there, so that CH3 is just going to stay the same. There's nothing really on carbon 2 to think about. But on carbon 3 we have this isopropyl group. Up here we have the 2 CH3s and the CH that connects them. So we're just going to go ahead and draw it in. So we draw the line up to this is what's going to be our CH carbon right here, and then we got our 2 CH3s right off of it. And that's all we need to do to account for the nature of this compound. Because you got your, because there's a hydrogen here. Just keep that in mind. It's got 3 bonds here, and then there's an understood explicit hydrogen right here. And then also on carbon 3, we have the CH2 and the CH3, or the ethyl group, basically. So you can just go ahead and draw that in. So here's carbon 1 from the ethyl group, and then the second carbon. And if you'd like to number those carbons too, that's certainly fine. You could call this like carbon A, and this one could be like carbon B or something, and you can replicate that in the product too. Alright, so then we're done with carbon 3. So we can move on over here to the right. And we see on carbon 4 we have a methyl group. We're like, cool, alright. So we just draw it in. Doesn't really matter if you draw it in above or below the bond, because you guys have learned that these single bonds can rotate. But if you would like to draw it down here, that'd be fine too, just to keep things as simple as possible. And then carbon 5 is fine the way it is. It doesn't really need anything else. So that basically completes this problem, and you're good to go. So hopefully you can see that these are much easier than they seem, and you should be able to get them right on the exam. Easy points. All right, good luck.